January 16th, 2021, Lesson 77 in A Course in Miracles student workbook. I am entitled Two Miracles. So this one's going to be very short, but I did want to give an example or some form of teaching with this. Basically, it's just a decision, okay? You are deciding to let life happen through you, not just happen for you or even to you, as sometimes we have our grievances that life happens to us, happens to others, and it doesn't happen for us. So when I started to see what this concept was, because I would always think about it as serendipity or some form of synchronicity. Now, miracles are basically anything that we deem not possible within the physical realm. So a great example are these old ladies that lift cars, especially during times of some, near-death experience. And really what is occurring is that the strength has always been there, right? So your spirit has always been there. The potential has always been there. Potential is meeting reality. And because of the circumstances that are unfolding within you and the outside world, they're meeting, once again, with that level of challenge and level of competency, okay? That's flow. So when we're in flow, our prefrontal cortex, our decision-making center, shuts down, and we have no other choice but to flow or die. This is known within The Rise of Superman, okay? And when I started to understand that this was very similar to what circuses do with elephants, that they chain them to the ground when they're young, and then when they're older, they just have like this rope and stake that's in the ground, and they had the potential to actually just run off if they could, but they've been so conditioned or even beat down to the point that they don't believe, or they just believe that's their own reality. And that's kind of similar to the idea of Plato's Cave. Plato's Cave was a story of an individual that saw truth beyond what the silhouettes on the cave were actually depicting, because as he started to realize different levels of truth, he saw that what he was seeing was not real, okay? And he needed to adjust his eyesight to the reflection of himself and the water and from the moon and then even the sun, thus realizing what real truth was, while others were still trapped in the cave, still looking at these silhouettes and believing that that was their own reality. So whatever you feel and whatever you believe is going to be your reality, right? That's the law of belief. And as you start to release more, you start to unravel these stories that you started to believe. And as you release more, then you're going to experience more of these feelings that have supercharged these paradigms or belief systems, okay? And as you release more, you become more sensitized, and whatever you feel, you're going to feel more. And that's only because it's already inside of you. It's not that it wasn't there before. It's almost like anger, right? Or some form of pain, right? That you feel like you're getting angrier or you're feeling more pain. It's already there. The circumstance is just allowing you to actually feel it more. The only thing is that you don't remain nearly as long in that heavy state as you did before, right? You have the ability to actually push through or process those emotions, right, for shorter periods of time. These heavy desires are what dominate you. And you have to ask yourself, what is more dominant to me? Like, is it myself and my own power, or is it these pills or these desires or this pain or these stories, okay? You're not getting worse, right? It's just something that you're experiencing, and what you feel more because you've been blinding yourself from feeling these emotions, right? You've been driving them down, you've been pushing them down and making them unconscious or subconscious. And that's what is allowing us to, not be okay in the world. We're trying to overcompensate for so much because we're not okay with ourselves. We're not okay with being in silence. We're not okay with the fact that we're getting old, right? We stop singing, we stop dancing, we stop even telling stories. We stop believing. And that's what starts to deteriorate the inside, because that's what spirit is the spirit of your child. And most oftentimes this is, you would say, ruined, but it could create some trauma. It could be damaging sometimes even to our own psyche, because we feel like the world is not what we believed it was, that it's not beautiful, that it's not perfect, that the only way that we have to go through life is suffering, and we don't find meaning in our suffering. We stop doing that because we find the monotony in things, and it starts killing our spirits. Especially as we do our deeds, we don't have the same spirit behind it, or work, or even the experiences that we have, because they're so short mounted within our time, because we're always thinking about either the past, right, depression, or even the future, creating our anxiety. And we don't find meaning within our suffering because we choose not to look at things from a different perspective. And that's what understanding what the miracles are, because as you start to understand that everything is happening through me, then you can understand that you are once again the creator, and everything is created through your mind. You attract things, you create this reality, you synchronize with the ebb and flow of life, and that's what miracles are. And that's what most people don't actually see, because they're so caught and spending and wasting so much time and energy on things that really don't matter.